everyone. So as you can tell by the title, I'm here to talk about one of the hardest parts of feeding a baby in general. Whether you're breastfeeding or formula feeding, it's just a hard part of being a mom to a little one. And I can tell you that night times are really rough. And sometimes it can feel like a big toll on your body. So I just want to give you my tips on how to make nighttime feedings go a little bit more smoothly and to keep things a little bit, and to make things a little less stressful in your house. So the first tip that I have is just to let you know that nighttime feedings are key. So for most women, your body is going to produce the most prolactin, and that is the essential hormone that makes your body produce breast milk. You're going to produce the most prolactin at nighttime. So this will help you keep your supply up. It will help keep your baby full and happy and that kind of thing. So just know that those nighttime feedings are key, and know that the rest of us are all doing it too. So I've actually seen some really cool things on like online groups where the admins or whoever is awake will post something and they'll say, you know, who is awake breastfeeding right now? Because let's be honest, most of us are reading or doing something else while we're breastfeeding, especially at night. Just know that other people are in your shoes. So the second tip I have is to find a comfortable position to breastfeed at night. I've heard a lot of people rave and rave and rave about breastfeeding laying down. That just didn't really work for me. Right after I had Harrison, I was having a lot of hip pain. I honestly couldn't even lay down flat in the bed for like a couple months after I had him, just because my body was getting back to normal and just, you know, getting back to how it was. So I preferred to sit up in my recliner, even a little bit reclined kind of, and use the boppy to support Harrison, and then just kind of turn over and go to sleep in the recliner when I needed to. So we would start in bed if I was feeling comfortable in bed, and then we would move to the recliner, or sometimes we would start in the recliner. It just really depended on how I was feeling. Some nights I'm still up in the recliner because it is the most comfortable place for me to be with him. I do know lots and lots of moms who rave about breastfeeding laying down, and I can tell you I've used that to give him a nap sometimes, so it is definitely something you're going to want to learn as quick as you can. The third tip that I have is to keep your baby close. Now, we safely co-sleep with Harrison. Not everybody's comfortable with that, and that's cool, but maybe try, like, I've heard of the arm's reach co-sleepers. That didn't really work well for us, but I've heard lots and lots of people like those. I've also heard really great things about the DockATot. I've not actually had a chance to try one, and I would love to try a DockATot to see if that would help all of us sleep a little bit better. So try something like that, but maybe keeping your baby close to you in the same room while you're still breastfeeding. It minimizes the distraction, so your baby doesn't have to necessarily get fully awake. For example, if they're sleeping in their own room, they have to wait for you to get up and walk in there. But if they are close to you or even in your same bed, then they just whimper a little bit, maybe don't get all the way awake, and then get nursed and go back to sleep. So the process takes a little less time for everybody. So keeping your baby close is definitely something that I would recommend when you're breastfeeding, especially in those early days. The fourth tip that I have for you is to hide the clock. For me, it would almost make the nighttime feedings worse to know that it had only been like 2 hours since I had last fed the baby. If I just kind of get myself sort of awake, not checking my phone, not checking a clock, it makes it a little less painful to be awake in those early morning hours and to be awake as often as I was and sometimes am still being awake. The fifth tip that I have for you guys is to keep the lights off. I know that for me, I needed a little bit of light to check his latch to make sure everything was going well, especially in the early days. And if you're feeling any pain when you're nursing, definitely you want to have a little bit of light to make sure that the latch is good. But I definitely would keep the room as dark and as quiet as possible to encourage baby to go back to sleep as quick as possible. So if you have like the TV on, or if you have, you know, a big overhead light on, that signals to baby that it's time to be awake and time to play. And at nighttime, I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to signal that nighttime is time to play. So keeping the room as dark and quiet as possible is a great way to go. The sixth tip that I have for you is to use easy access clothing. I don't know about everybody else who nurses out there, but I always wore like a V-neck shirt or something that I could pull down easily. I have 2 nursing nightgowns, and I'll go ahead and link those down in the description below so you guys can check them out, and I really like them. It's really nice to have easy access nursing clothing, so I would recommend getting like a nursing nightgown or a nursing shirt or even a nursing tank top that can easily be pulled down and, you know, easy access for easy nighttime feedings. The seventh tip that I have for you is to get organized and keep everything you need within an arm's reach. I even would keep like a couple of diapers right near us so that if we did need to do a nighttime diaper change, they would be right there. I wouldn't have to get up. I wouldn't have to do anything crazy. My water was always right near me. I always had my phone if I needed it. Yeah, just keep everything that you need really close by, and it should make the process go a little bit more smoothly. This is kind of like 7A though. I always avoided changing a diaper in the nighttime unless he pooped. I felt that it kind of like stirred him awake a little bit more, and it didn't get him back to like his sleeping pattern very easily. So I would honestly, if your baby will allow it, and if your baby's not gonna like pee through their diaper, I would change them as close to when they're gonna go down for the night one time, maybe even put on like a nighttime diaper, and then maybe don't change them again until they wake up in the morning unless there's poop. So that would just be my recommendation. The 8th tip that I have is to make sure that you have all of your cleanup supplies right nearby. So if you're pumping, maybe have like your pump wipes right nearby so that you can just clean that and go back to sleep. If you are breastfeeding and maybe you're really leaky, make sure that you have extra nursing pads ready to go, maybe even like a towel between you and baby so that you know your clothes don't get soaked. And then if your baby is spitting up, make sure that you have those burp cloths right nearby as well. Definitely make sure you have all of those cleanup supplies nearby so that it can be super, super easy. The 9th tip that I have is to massage your breast while you are feeding baby in the night. A lot of the high fat milk is kind of towards the back in your breast, and if you can give the baby the thicker, higher fat milk, sometimes it will coat their stomach a little bit better and help them to sleep better. It honestly just depends on the kid. That worked well for Harrison, but like higher fat feedings didn't work as well for Delilah. Yeah, it just really depends on the kid, but that is something that worked well for Harrison. So definitely massage and give yourself a helping hand while you are nursing. And then the last tip I have is not something that can work for everyone and is maybe not like super feasible, but honestly, if you're having a rough go in the night, either tell your partner that you need a nap during the day and kind of schedule that out. When Delilah was really little, I took the night shift just because that was kind of easier for me to be awake in the night, and Brian didn't necessarily like being up in the night. And then we would like tag out, like I would tell him it was his turn at like 7 or 8 in the morning, and then I would get a good couple hours of sleep. Probably I'd get back up at 11 or so. He would kind of tag out and, you know, he would get some chores done. I would tag back in. It was just kind of a system that worked well for us that time. This time it's kind of the same. I get up in the nighttime and then he does a lot of the daytime things. So if you have a supportive partner, maybe when you can tag them in and out when you need them, and making sure that you are getting enough rest. This is a lot harder with a second child, but if you can kind of either, you know, have your partner home with you, or maybe even ask friends and family to come over and help so you can get a shower and or some sleep. I highly recommend taking daytime naps. I honestly would take a daytime nap over cleaning my house sometimes, just because I know that for me personally, lack of sleep can lead to an increased risk for postpartum depression. So I was really, really cognizant and aware of my sleep this time. So if you can be just super aware of your sleep needs, it's gonna be best for you to take care of you as well, because if you're not taking care of you, then who's gonna take care of baby? So make sure that you are trying to nap during the day if you can, or sleep as much as you can. Honestly, it is hard, and it's definitely a challenging time to get sleep, but if you can get a couple of hours during the day, it will make a world of difference. So those are the tips that I have for you guys. I hope that those nighttime breastfeeding tips helped you guys, and I hope that if you have any questions, you will leave them down in the comments below. If you are having like a nighttime issue, feel free to leave it in the comments below. Again, I'm not an expert. I am just a mom who has gone through it. So these are my tips for you guys, and I will do my best to answer them, and if I don't, I'll try to direct you to a resource that might help you better. So if you like this video, also don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. That helps me so much. And if you're new here, hit that red subscribe button below. We are trying to reach 5,000 friends on my channel. If we do get to 5,000 friends, then we're gonna do a live stream, and I am super pumped because I've never done a live stream before. So hit that red subscribe button below, join us, and have a good time with us. We are a fun bunch. If you are one of my current subscribers, thank you so much for being here. You rock, you are awesome, you're the best. Thanks so much. And by the way, you guys, have fun today.